morning, everyone. Or should I say bad morning, because we didn't get the Switch Pro like we thought we would. My name is Jason.
What's up? This is Alex.
And we're pissed off.
Yeah, fuck this.
Okay, so our plan here was to do a podcast as soon as we got the reveal of the Switch Pro or Super Switch. We were really expecting it this week, and specifically today, Thursday, and it did not happen. So,
yeah.
Instead, what we're just going to kind of do is, for anyone who maybe hasn't been following along with the news, we're going to kind of talk about the rumors and what they say, why we thought it was going to happen today, if it's still going to happen, and then we're also going to go over the E3 schedule, because the full schedule has been released.
Mm-hmm.
So first, I guess let's just kind of, I guess we can talk about the Switch Pro, the rumors in general, and I guess why we thought this was going to happen today, or at least this week. Do you want to kind of talk about what we know or what we've heard?
Yeah. Yeah, so like a few prominent leakers like Emily Rogers and Nate the Hate podcaster and insider guy Nate Drake on Reset Era, and also Eurogamer, I believe, and even Jason Schreier. Everyone was talking about it.
And I mean, it really started because Bloomberg did say...
Oh yeah, Bloomberg
did the article. And
left out the biggest one.
Yeah, and in that article, they said that they were more vague, but they did say something along the lines of, like, a strong possibility it could be revealed prior to E3.
Yeah. So there was just a whole lot of smoke around the Switch Pro being announced. Sorry, the Super Nintendo Switch being announced prior to E3. One of the reasons was Nate Drake, the insider, had information that he has since walked back a little bit. I don't even know walked back, but it turned out to not be as solid as he thought, which is totally understandable. But third-party developers were supposedly going to show games running on the new Super Nintendo Switch at E3. In order to do that, Nintendo was going to have to announce that console prior to E3 happening. And now apparently that information isn't quite lining up the way people thought it was going to, and maybe that's not entirely true. Mm-hmm. So Nate has come out earlier today and said he is less certain of it being announced prior to E3. That doesn't mean it can't happen. It just means he's less certain. He's also pointed out that other insiders, such as Arcade Girl, 64, Emily Rogers.
Yeah, Emily Rogers.
And now I'm blanking on the other ones. Eurogamer. They probably have different sources, and I think they still believe there's a good chance of it showing up prior to E3. So still could happen. We've been looking at tweets at the top of the hour for the past few hours. And just being pissed off and disappointed every 60 minutes. So that's been cool. Not really. This is, hyperbole, but it's been fun to like just ride this hype train, and we're going to get it eventually, I think. So
yeah, 100%. And it's just funny that like the whole internet is expecting it, was really expecting it today. And it's like, well, technically it's still before E3 next week too. So it's not even that anyone is wrong yet. And this is a total assumption, but from like what I'm kind of guessing happened is it seems like a lot of the stuff that Nate Drake talks about. First off, we both 100% believe him. He has been right so many times. There's no reason to like ever doubt him. But it seems like maybe he has relationships with like people that work at third-party systems, and so I think what he was probably hearing is that these games they're developing games that are going to be using this enhanced Switch Pro, and they're going to be shown at E3. And I think he was assuming that meant to show these games, we're going to want to have the E3 revealed, but maybe someone told him something along the lines of like, oh, well, won't necessarily be the pro footage or something like that. Like he was thinking it's going to be the pro footage, but it might not be. And that could be completely wrong too. But that's based on what he said. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But anyways,
I was thinking about that. Like my thought was, if a game is coming to the Switch Pro, it's not going to be a Switch Pro exclusive. So why wouldn't the developer just be showing like the Series X or PS5 or showing that version and then just saying this is also coming to Switch?
Yeah.
Like that's what most third parties do. They don't show the footage from the less powerful system usually.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I don't know, just talking out of my ass.
No, you're right. So yeah, anyways, Emily Rogers has stated over and over today, as people keep coming at her, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
She has like said today, like, I've kind of been following her tweets, and she said something along the lines of like, at the time, I definitely thought it was going to happen. Who knows? But I'm still corroborating. I guarantee you, pretty much, she's saying it is going into production in July, and there is a Metroid game coming this year. She's like, those were the two things that really started that whole post. And she's like, I'm still not backing down on that at all. So that's
good enough.
Yeah. So I do still think, no matter what, I don't have any reason to not believe Bloomberg is the thing. Bloomberg is like it has nothing to do with games. People like who invest listen to Bloomberg, and like it's
a legitimate news source.
Yeah, they do their research more than just like leakers on message boards. So like if we're gonna take anything, I think that's the one that we should be taking. And they said it's gonna go into production in July. They expect it to release September or October, and they said it could be revealed before E3. So that's the thing. Maybe it won't be, but I'm still counting on it being soon revealed. So anyways, we can kind of go over it too. So some of the things that it said, first off, the screens are OLED, which they've made a few reports now, and it's going to be about 7 inches, which right now it's the Switch we have is 6.2, but it sounds like it's still going to be about the same size. It's just the bezels around the Switch right now are going to be not there, or a lot smaller. So because I think one of the articles, it might have been Bloomberg, said that the Joy-Cons the current Joy-Con should still work on it. So I assume it's going to be the same size.
There's no way they're going to put out those Skyward Sword Joy-Con in the summer and then a couple months later say, oh yeah, you can't use those with your new Switch. Sorry. They're not gonna segment it like that. I feel like all the same accessories will be usable with the new one.
Yep. And then it has the dock is gonna be 4K capable, using DLSS, which is like AI upscaling, which I don't know enough about it, but I have heard enough people talk about it now that everyone says it's about as good as it's as good as 4K. Like it does such a good job that you're not gonna not be able to tell that it's not like natively 4K. So that's really cool.
And Ethernet port in the dock, right?
So that was from something else. So then there was another like, I think it was an accessories store that like normally that like came out with in the past has like accidentally put up information about systems in the past. And so this was like a Chinese accessory store, and they put up something describing it, and it said, it has an Ethernet port on the dock. It has 2 USB 3 ports, and that the Switch itself has a larger back flap. So I when I picture that, I'm thinking of more like a Microsoft Surface, or like where like the whole thing can do it, because that is kind of the kickstand right now does a bad job. If you did want to play like tabletop, it's kind of like, you can just tip it over.
It's not very sturdy.
So I'm kind of picturing it like the whole back of it can be like, taken out or used as a kickstand. That could be wrong, but that's how I was picturing it. So, I guess, do you want to just maybe talk about what are you thinking? Are we still expecting this? September, October?
So I want to Nintendo put out their tweet for their E3 Direct yesterday on June 2nd, and it says, tune in for a Nintendo Direct with roughly 40 minutes of info focused exclusively on Nintendo Switch software, mostly releasing in 2021, followed by around 3 hours of gameplay in Nintendo Treehouse Live, E3 2021. So my thought is, if they are going to announce a Switch Pro prior to E3, it would make sense for them to at least touch on it. I guess they could still do that, but the way this is worded, saying exclusively on Nintendo Switch software, that's kind of, maybe that's their response to all the message board and Twitter craziness of people expecting a Switch Pro announcement. Like, so I think that rules out an E3 announcement right there. And it could still happen before. It would just be weird if it happened before, and then unless they said like, okay, the Switch Pro's coming and we're gonna do a direct or a showcase on it at this time, or it's just a Twitter dump and they're like, here's the specs, it's coming out this day, it's $349, whatever. They could do. I mean, it's Nintendo. They could literally do whatever. I just don't think it's gonna be at E3. And it's at this point, I hate to say it, but probably most likely after E3.
Yeah. So I'm still thinking it could be before. I mean, obviously it could be after, but what I was more so thinking was it would be like, up until today where I started to question it a little bit. I was more so expecting just like a Twitter video that's 3 minutes long that shows it, shows what it does, and says, coming September or coming October. And then that's kind of it. And then once that's out of the way, it's not that they would show it at all at the E3. It's just like it would show a game, and then maybe in the corner at the end, it would like have a logo that says like, Super Switch as well, or, Switch Pro Enhanced or something like that. I wasn't really expecting them to talk about it at E3. So that could still happen. It also could definitely not still happen.
Yeah. I mean, could come out, we're going to release this on June 4th in the morning, and we could get an announcement tomorrow, right after we put this out. So that would suck, but would make a lot of sense. But we could, then it could come next week, but obviously if it doesn't come next week, it's not happening before E3, because E3's in like
week and a half.
Week and a half. Shit. Okay. Yeah. So, it could be as late as August. Like we don't really have a firm thing. It's just with all the smoke happening from the leakers and Bloomberg and everything, it just really felt like it was happening imminently.
Yeah.
And of course, it's so fun to just hop on the hype train and just like full go, like, here it comes, the Super Switch, Twitter, where's it at? And it's just, there's nothing. But that's part of the fun. That's part of the reason why I like video games.
So I just pulled up the YouTube video for the Switch Lite when they revealed that. It was a 6.5 minute video that was released on July 10th, and the Switch Lite came out on September 20th. So I mean, I would, I mean, within a month, I would think.
July 10th confirmed for Super Switch video.
Yeah. So yeah, cool. Yeah, and so on our last discussion, we kind of talked about how we were all hyped up about this. So we were kind of thinking, oh, now that means maybe we'll get Breath of the Wild with this September, October, Breath of the Wild 2. The more time has passed, the more people I've listened to, I'm starting to think that's not happening.
Yeah, I don't know. I want it to, but it feels like there's going to be just a, July is Skyward Sword, August is whatever, double pack of Ocarina of Majora, September, like it's just going to be a one after another Zelda port release thing, I feel like, because they're going to do something for the Zelda 35th. It's not going to just be nothing. It's not going to be a Skyward Sword port and a Age of Calamity DLC and a Joy-Con and a overpriced amiibo. There's going to be more games coming. We've heard that from other people who are reliable. It just Breath of the Wild coming in September. I feel like the timeline works, but they couldn't talk about the game in February, and they apologized, and they were like, sorry, we can't talk about the game yet. We still haven't heard anything. I mean, it's going to be at E3, but I don't I hate to. I love being on the hype train. Like I said, I want it to be September, October, but it could definitely be September, October 2022.
I will say something that kind of against what you just said, and something that I feel like I've heard a few people mention what you kind of mentioned, is that I don't like, I never thought, even back in February, like, until I've recently been hearing people say this, I never thought that, like, it wasn't ready to show in February. Like, that was never my thought process. I've seen, like, I think I was listening to some other podcast and they were like, well, they said they apologized and said it wasn't even ready in February. But I always took it as more so they weren't ready. Like, just as in they didn't want to yet. I was thinking because, like, they had bigger plans. Like, you know, they wanted the first time you really saw the gameplay to be at this big showcase for it. And like I never really took it as it's not far enough along yet. Now, who knows? Maybe I doubt that. I doubt that it wasn't good enough yet after 4 years to be able to show a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're right. It doesn't necessarily, like, just because they didn't talk about it in February, it doesn't mean it wasn't ready to go. It just means they didn't want to talk about it. Yeah. And it's easy to draw that to, oh, the game's not ready. It's a mess. It's delayed. Whatever. But yeah, it just, on the last podcast we were like, oh, it's September or it's October. It has to launch with the Switch Pro. It still could. Definitely still could. It just feels like after the week of craziness from Nintendo stuff, like,
we were riding high.
Yeah, we were riding high. maybe we jumped the gun, but I'm not ruling it out. I just feel like the Switch Pro could definitely launch and just have, like, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe looking amazing on it, or Smash looking amazing. Like, it doesn't. I don't know that they're gonna release, like, a super new, like, brand new huge game with it. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I still think that that's the best option, and I think that that's, like, the best marketing tactic.
Absolutely,
like, they should do that. But
they definitely should.
But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I could see them just, especially if I don't know. It seems like such a smart idea. So
it does. So let's just erase all that. Let's go with, it's coming September, and Breath of the Wild 2 is launching with it. Fuck it. Still going with that.
Yeah. Forget everything we just said.
Yeah, it's September.
And that announcement's coming in about an hour.
yeah. It'll be here in 35 minutes. Yeah. Top of the next hour.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I'm not giving up hope. I'm still thinking, who knows, maybe next week we will. But if we don't get an announcement for it, whatever. We have E3 literally next weekend. So maybe now we can kind of just go into the majority of all of the E3 times have been revealed. So the main stuff is going to be from Saturday, June 12th through Tuesday, June 15th. We can just kind of go through each day. So on Saturday, I'll talk about what they have. They have, so the event officially kicks off on Saturday with a broadcast pre-show at 10 a.m. Pacific. I'm going to just do everything in Pacific time here. Then Ubisoft Forward, Ubisoft's presentation is at 12 p.m. Pacific. It says a pre-show will begin at 11 a.m. Pacific with news about updates for games such as For Honor, Watch Dogs Legion, and The Crew 2. Then the main event for Ubisoft will feature the first gameplay footage of the next Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six game. Ubisoft will do a deep dive on the game in its Ubisoft Forward post-show, which goes live at 1 p.m. And then we can also expect appearances from previously unannounced games like Far Cry 6 and Riders Republic, and updates on new content for Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Rainbow Six Siege. Ubisoft will also discuss projects from its film and television division, such as the upcoming movie Werewolves Within, which I have never heard of. Yeah, and then the only other thing on Saturday right now is Gearbox Entertainment, Borderlands developer Gearbox Software will hopefully have plenty to show during a press conference on Saturday. So are any of that Ubisoft stuff, are you interested in any of that?
Yeah. I mean, Ubisoft always has a couple good games every year. It seems like I'm not a huge Assassin's Creed guy or anything like that, but the Rabbids game was a lot of fun and really unique and original. I hope we get a sequel this year, announced at least, or some other Nintendo team up. Was Ubisoft Starlink? It was,
Yes.
wasn't it? Yeah. So they had that Star Fox thing there. Maybe a third collab with Nintendo characters and Ubisoft developed games. That would be cool. Maybe put Yoshi in a Ubisoft game. Why not? That'd be awesome because he needs something new to do other than play with arts and crafts. But yeah, and all the Tom Clancy stuff, sure. I think I just heard Rainbow Six Quarantine is the new one, which sounds appropriate.
Yep.
And yeah, I'll be taking a look at the Ubisoft. I think that feels like a good showcase to start things off. It's not a bad showcase. It's not the best for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
It's just some good shit coming out. So that's nice.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I'm kind of hoping for some sort of collaboration with Nintendo. I would like another Rabbids game. I thought that was really great. And yeah I was actually going to mention Starlink for anyone who still hasn't played it. It is worth whatever you can buy it for now because I'm pretty sure it is like $10 on some places.
I saw it for like $3 on Best Buy before.
And I played it all the way through and I really liked it. The only thing that was like bad about it was that it was like pretty repetitive. Like each mission you kind of did the same thing but just at a different planet. But I still thought it was really good. And like the actual flying and like shooting mechanics were all awesome. So like I think we've talked about this before. I would be fine if like Nintendo didn't want to do Star Fox and wanted to hand that off to Ubisoft. I think that they would do a really good job. So I'm rooting for something like that.
Yeah, and we know Nintendo has no problem giving Star Fox to another developer. They just had Platinum do it for Star Fox Zero, so could be something that we hear about. That'd be great. So Gearbox, yeah, I don't know.
Never been a huge Borderlands fan.
No. I remember I got Borderlands 2 when I bought my Xbox One in 2015 and played it for a few hours and then never touched it again. But not bad, just not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
So Sunday is a pretty big day for E3. We got Microsoft's Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase starting at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. That's going to be awesome. Do we have a time on how long that is? How long that presentation is?
For some reason, I feel like they said 90 minutes. I'm almost positive.
So it's going to be about 6-7 hours long. Yeah. We got, okay, so 90 minutes is really good. I'm guessing 89 minutes will be Halo and 1 minute will be Starfield. But no, I mean, there's going to be a lot of Halo. I hope Starfield gets shown and probably announced for 2022 second half release. I don't know if we'll see anything from Fable or Perfect Dark. Those are the games I'm most interested in, but they still feel like they're far away. But Microsoft, they usually do a lot of trailers that are CG, not a lot of gameplay. And I think we're hearing that this year will be not very different from that, with the exception of a lot of Halo. So,
yeah,
looking forward to that one.
I've whoever I've been like following. Again, I can't name everybody, but like I know Jeff Grubb has said a few of these and Jason Schreier, but like all I keep hearing is games that aren't going to be there. Like, yeah, I watched Jeff Grubb this morning and he listed like so many games that weren't going to be there. And I'm just like, so what is? I'm a little confused because if they have 90 minutes, I've heard like of the games that have been announced for the Series X, like, I don't know. I've heard like, it seems like there's only been like 20 major games announced and I feel like 10 of them I heard aren't going to be there. So yeah, I don't know.
Psychonauts 2, that should be there.
Yeah.
With gameplay. Hoping for Banjo 3.
Yeah.
Would love to see Rare's Everwild game because nobody knows what the hell it is.
Yeah, and I think that was one that I heard wasn't going to be there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you want to see that? No, we can't show you that yet. Perfect Dark? Yeah, no, we're not ready with that.
Yeah, Avowed, I heard wasn't going to be there.
Avowed is not going to be there. Elden Ring is not going to be at the Xbox
Yeah.
showcase, confirmed by Jeff Grubb. I don't want to say confirmed,
Yeah.
but
He did say heavily, don't say
Yeah.
confirmed.
yeah, I'm not saying confirmed. I redact that, but yeah, that it is not expected at the Xbox thing. So I have no idea outside of Halo what is going to be at Xbox. Maybe, like I said, maybe Psychonauts 2, and then Bethesda, Elder Scrolls Online. I'm sure there will be some stuff for that, and Fallout 76. I'm sure they'll announce something for that stupid game, and then I don't know if we'll get like a Fallout 5 logo like we got for Elder Scrolls 6 3 years ago. But that'd be pretty cool just to know it's being worked on. But they have that Indiana Jones thing they announced a while ago. Maybe they show a little CG trailer for that. Who knows? We'll see. Mostly Starfield, I'd guess. And then they also have a PC. There's a PC gaming show for Sunday. The Future Game Show. What is that? Do you know what that is? Nice. So we'll figure that out on Sunday, June 13th at 4 o'clock Pacific. We got Warner Brothers games on Sunday the 13th, and Back for Blood and 24 Entertainment on Sunday, June 13th. Okay. So
yeah, and then Square Enix is at 12:15 Pacific on Sunday as well. And they said 40-minute show will feature announcement of a new game and an update on Platinum Games' Babylon's Fall, which looks awesome. If you haven't looked at the trailer for Babylon's Fall, it was from a while ago. It looks awesome. Life is Strange True Colors, Life is Strange Remastered Collection, and details on Black Panther War for Wakanda. And also there had been like a leak. So there had been a leak about a game titled Final Fantasy Origin, which is going to be like a Dark Souls style game based in the Final Fantasy world, but a little supposedly more like not as hard, but that style of like one-on-one, kind of like what was the Star Wars game, the recent one? You said it was awesome.
Squadrons or
nope.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yes,
or something?
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Like a game more like that. So something Final Fantasy based with that. Yeah, and then you're right though. They're also, I did hear about was that Square? The 2K
is making a XCOM style Avengers game.
Yeah.
So there's that. Can't be worse than the Crystal Dynamics Avengers game. So, that got leaked recently. And we actually skipped over something. Koch Media has a showcase Friday, June 11th, as like a preliminary thing, and that's like the Saints Row people.
Oh yeah, nice.
We'll see some of that little teaser on the 11th. But then anything else for Sunday?
I think that's it for Sunday. So then Monday we have Capcom, Take-Two Interactive, Mythical Games, Freedom Games, Razer, and unannounced indie developers will have presentations throughout the day.
Nice.
I see here, based on it says Capcom will deliver a presentation focusing on its upcoming slate of games. Capcom has the Great Ace Attorney Collection, Monster Hunter Stories 2, Resident Evil 4 for Oculus, and Pragmata on its release. But Capcom is also reportedly has more Ace Attorney and Resident Evil games in its plan, according to a leak.
Wow. More Resident Evil?
I'll take it.
Yeah, bring it. It's got to be Resident Evil 9. That's probably ready to go already.
Yeah.
So I would love to see something Mega Man related coming from Capcom.
Oh, yeah.
I know that wasn't in anything you just mentioned, but it's been a while since the last one, which was 12, 11.
I'm not even sure.
Whichever one was the latest one. I think it was 12. Or yeah, anyway, if they do have anything Mega Man related, would love to see something that pushes that franchise forward a little bit. It's been a while since we've heard from Mega Man. Capcom, do not let that die off. It's a good
Yeah.
good character. Everybody loves him. Just make something cool.
Yeah. I want to get another Mega Man Legends.
Yeah, I'd be good with that. Or even
Yeah,
a
I
Battle
love-
Network game.
Yeah.
Which actually, I feel like I did hear something about Battle Network recently. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on Capcom. Yeah, I mean, Monster Hunter for sure. There'll be something related to that. That's hugely popular. I mean, Capcom is basically Monster Hunter Resident Evil, and it's very cool that they're doing an Ace Attorney thing too, because I know that game has a ton of fans who have been wanting more releases from that franchise. So that's nice.
Yep.
And then Tuesday, June 15th, we're going to have Nintendo's 40-minute software exclusive direct hitting at 9 a.m. Pacific, followed by 3 hours of Treehouse gameplay live programming. So I think I mentioned this in a tweet on our account that 40 minutes can feel a little underwhelming, but when you consider that there's going to be 3 hours of gameplay right after, it kind of makes it seem like the direct can just focus on short trailers and teases and announcements and release dates, and then all the gameplay stuff will happen afterwards. Sometimes in those long directs there will be like a 10 or 12-minute break right in the middle where they just show gameplay from a game. Like they pick one game and they'll just show all the gameplay for it. Like I don't see that happening here. It's just going to be rapid fire and with releases and announcements, and I really hope we're going to be focusing on first party stuff rather than, it seems like lately it's been leaning towards third party in these directs. I hope it's just Kirby, WarioWare, Metroid, Zelda, Mario Kart 9 next year. Like I know that's not going to happen.
It probably won't be, but I mean, so I just looked at on YouTube the last E3 2019 Nintendo's presentation was 42 minutes, and that presentation kicked ass.
Yeah.
So you can get plenty in 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's plenty of time. It's just when you look at the other ones that have been like 50, 60 minutes, it's like, oh, why isn't this the longest one? It's like easy to get discouraged. But yeah, the 3 hours of Treehouse afterwards, I mean, what gameplay do you think we're gonna see? You think we'll see like a Splatoon 3 gameplay? Probably not at this point.
No, I would bet that I bet that is when they would focus on Mario Golf and Skyward Sword. They could talk about the changes and play it a little bit. I bet Mario Golf for sure, because that comes out soon after, and they'll want to showcase it a little bit more.
Yeah, there's going to be a ton of Mario Golf, I hope. The first hour of Treehouse, just Mario Golf.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if at least 30 minutes of it is.
Probably some gameplay from the Pokemon stuff coming out soon.
Oh yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah.
And then hopefully Breath of the Wild 2.
I mean, I'm interested to see if we're gonna get a Pokemon presentation next week beforehand. I mean, I don't think so at this point, but we always have.
Yeah, there's always been one right before E3.
Yeah, I mean, they did just announce the release dates, so maybe that was in lieu of instead of a Pokemon Presents, but that'd be awesome if we just got that randomly, because then that means those two games won't be in the direct and we'll get more time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the release date, Twitter drop, I don't think they would do that if there was a Pokemon Presents coming up.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I think, and we should mention this. There was that survey, this just came out yesterday, that Nintendo was sending out to people asking a very specific question. Would you be interested in paying $49.99 American for a new game in the WarioWare franchise for Switch? I don't know who wouldn't be for that, because that's a great deal.
Yeah.
I don't even care if it's just a bunch of like a top collection of WarioWare games just packaged together and thrown on Switch. It doesn't have to be new. I haven't played all of them, so I'd be happy with any sort of WarioWare compilation or anything. But that just felt like a very specific question to ask if you didn't have a WarioWare game you were about to put on sale.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's probably happening.
Yeah. So that was that's something we talked about on here before. Like, where the hell is WarioWare? It's been so long, and the Switch just seems like a perfect platform for it with all the stuff the Joy-Con can do.
Yeah.
So it seems like that one has probably just been really kept under wraps, and is probably going to be revealed in a week and a half. Because we haven't heard anything from any insiders, reporters, whatever you want to call them. And it's just, kind of came out of nowhere and feels like, yeah, that's definitely something that could happen.
Yeah. So all I want from E3,
Let's hear it.
all I want,
This is it.
a good trailer for Breath of the Wild 2,
Check.
and I want something Metroid.
Yeah.
I don't care what. I assume it's going to be a 2D game, but I would also take the Metroid Prime trilogy as well. I'm not as much thinking that's happening, but I would be just as happy with that. So all I want is those two things, and both of those things seem like they're going to be there. So if they have both of those, if we get one good trailer for Breath of the Wild 2, I don't even care if it's not released this year. If we get a good trailer and we get a Metroid, I'll be happy.
Yeah, it kind of feels like those are the two things that are going to anchor the show, like the whole E3. If they don't have if they don't have those, what the hell are we doing here?
I mean, there could definitely be some things that like we just have no idea about.
Yeah,
I really think that there could be.
Yeah, it definitely could be.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, those two seem like the two logical, like big things that they would have.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've been hearing so much about a 2D Metroid, so I'm like almost counting on that being there when there's really like Nintendo hasn't given anything hinting towards it. So, but yeah, I'm counting on that. If I get those two, I'll be happy.
I'm honestly with you. Like just 2D Metroid, anything Metroid, and a Breath of the Wild not teaser, like a trailer.
Yeah, I want a trailer.
I want a 5-6 minute trailer.
Yeah,
that just blows me away, like every trailer for the first one did.
Yeah. Even I don't necessarily care about the length, but I want it to like, even if it was like 3 minutes, if it like, it's just that first trailer. It really didn't show, like, I don't know what the game is, you know, like the most thing it gave is like, wait, maybe there's parts underground. So if we could see like maybe a little gameplay of them actually underground playing, then it's like, okay, now I get that this is what I just want to know a little bit more what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, let's know what
really
the game
don't know.
is. No, you're right. It showed a little bit underground. It showed Zelda in like an adventurer wardrobe, like out there with Link, which we haven't seen before. And it showed Ganon coming back, and it showed some weird blue ghost goo spirit thing sliming around. And but yeah, that's pretty much it. And it showed the castle detach from the ground and lift up into the air. So that seems like a major plot point. But if they could just show us a little gameplay, give us a date, like if it just says 2022, I'm going to be a little bit pissed off.
Yeah. I'd like them to say like spring 2022 and let's get a title.
Now
I want everything.
Let's get a title. I don't care what the title is, honestly. If it's Breath of the Wild 2, great.
I don't think it will be. I'd be willing to bet.
Okay, we'll have to talk about that bet off air. But title, a somewhat defined a release window rather than just the year. Like, I know a year is a release window technically. I'm just saying, like, give me a season.
Even if it said like summer 2022, at least then like we aren't like, if they just say 2022, I'm gonna immediately think that means
March.
holiday.
Oh, are you?
No, I'm gonna think it means holiday. Because I would think that means like they don't want to share that it's it's not close enough that we can share. I'm just I'm going to be paranoid if they only say the year.
Yeah, if it says 2022, my brain will say holiday and my heart will say March.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 20. Well, January 1st is 2022. Where's that game at?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 2D Metroid, the Zelda stuff, and then if Breath of the Wild 2 is there with news, like, and then they don't show any Zelda ports, I don't even care. Like, I don't
either. I don't either. If they have Breath of the Wild 2, I don't care about anything else Zelda.
But I do, yeah. But I do think they are going to show a handful of Zelda ports coming.
Yeah,
I think that's their plan.
So I do too. The only thing I do too. Overall, I would say I'm 80% sure that they will show other ports. The only 20% reason I would say maybe not is because I would think if they were gonna do that, then they would have a section of the direct focused on like, oh, and remember, this is Zelda's 35th, and then they'd talk for like 10-15 minutes about that, and it's almost like, I don't know. I guess they just could do that, but then I feel like they would have said in the thing 40 minutes of games at an and focused on the 35th celebration or something. I don't know. I'm just rambling.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like the Zelda stuff, the Zelda 35, like that's another thing where there's just been so much smoke where they have to.
There's got to be.
There's going to be a logo that says Zelda 35 just to make something official out of it. And like I said earlier, we've heard from reliable sources that the dual pack with Wind Waker and Twilight Princess is coming, and Ocarina and Majora. So that's, I mean, yeah, I think they're going to go down that, have like a little segment dedicated to Zelda stuff coming this year. Anything else for Nintendo?
I don't think so.
So also on the 15th, Tuesday, there's going to be a Bandai Namco thing, Eureka Games, and a GameSpot event. And I believe those are all after Nintendo because Nintendo's kind of early. But one other thing I just thought of is I hope we get a Monolith Soft new game announcement, which we've talked about before. But
yeah, and it seems like they have been working on something for a long time. I feel like we've heard people say it's pretty much done, and most things point to it not being Xenoblade. So I'm really curious to see what it is.
Yeah, would love to see what they do with a different franchise or something entirely original.
Yep.
That's about it for E3 stuff right now. It seems to be changing by the hour.
Yeah.
There's like new leaks hitting every 1, 2, 3 hours. So maybe we'll hit another pod early next week. So last week and this week we've done Friday pods, which is off of our usual schedule of Wednesday morning. And then we're going to do some E3 coverage, which we have to figure out too. But yeah, so our schedule will probably be less consistent until E3 is over, just because we want to stay current with the news cycle.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a Switch Pro announcement next week, we'll probably just do one immediately that night.
Yeah,
and if not, we'll probably do a final predictions video or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's good. We should make something fun out of it, some kind of game with money involved.
Okay, I like that actually a lot.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll make bingo cards or something.
Yeah.
That's a fun one.
All right, cool. Besides that, I really think we got to go because in 8 minutes they're probably going to announce the Switch Pro here at 7 p.m.
That's true. It is coming up to the top of the hour again, so I'm ready to be hurt once more.
Yep. So thank you guys for listening, and again, follow us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter at Good Morning Games. Wait, what is our Twitter again?
I don't know. It's at GM Games Podcast.
Yeah.
That's all we could get. That's all we could get.
Yeah.
Everything was taken, so just go find that. Go subscribe on YouTube. Come on.
Yes, come on, just do it.
Just do it.
All right. Thank you guys, and have
Yeah.
yourself a great rest of your day.
Yep. Thanks. We'll see ya.
See ya.